Hello and welcome everybody to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing the brand new event just added in the 1.15 update on GT7. This is the Lightweight K Cup and this is the second race at Magur. Is that how you pronounce it? Lake Magur Circuit? I don't know. And anyway, I've set up a car which I think will be able to win. As you can see, I've already tried this. I got 5th in the other K car, which I tried to tune properly for this and it didn't work. So I just got a completely different K car and tried it again. And of course, this one I've set for gaining as much power as possible with no regard for actual handling, because I think that's the reason I lost last time. So I'm using a close ratio low transmission because apparently that lowers the performance points somehow. I actually have no idea how. And I've got a high RPM turbo, a racing intercooler, a racing silencer, which is basically the exhaust, racing brake pads because they did not increase the performance points too greatly, which means I could have installed those. Oh, and a high lift camshaft, all added to this vehicle to make sure I can have absolute peak power, which I've gotten to 111. There's probably a way where you can tune, like get fully customizable suspension and stuff like that and get it under the limit with tons more power, but I wasn't going to bother with all that. I want to do it how the developers probably intended it to be without trying to glitch through the tuning system or anything like that. So I've decided that this is probably the best way to do it. So I'm going to see, it's got 7 laps. And I want to see, I don't know if this is going to be extremely over competitive or if it's going to barely be able to keep up. I have no idea. Because all the cars have to run comfort soft tyres, nitrous is not allowed and they cannot go over the performance points limit of 400 performance points. Oh, and they obviously have to be a K car, as the name of the event suggests. And I think this will be a very interesting race. So let's really see. I have not driven this yet, so I have no idea how well it will perform. But I'm going to hope I do well. Come on, car. Well, you can hear the turbo on this, though. Now, I have no idea how well the cornering will work, so I'm going to go, whoa, not very well at all, apparently. But hopefully the increase in power, which is what I focus this on, can actually remove the problematic cornering. The problem is I don't appear to be catching up at such a great rate in a straight line, so this might still end up being a difficult race despite getting into 6th gear. Down the straight, going through the corner, and we're going to overtake the Cappuccino on the way past, and there's a Honda Beat. Oh, heavy on the brakes. I think downhill on braking is actually helpful. I think you can brake a bit quicker down. Actually, no, it's the other way around. You brake quicker uphill. There, gravity, that's how it works. Gravity is not reversed in Gran Turismo somehow, despite what some of the game physics may lead you to believe. But we have already made it to about 14th position by lap 2. We started at, I don't know, I think we started in 16th actually, so I think I've only made 2 positions. But I have got fastest lap. But you can see there's a huge line of K cars racing all the way up to the end of this straight down here, which is the longest straight on the circuit. But for some reason, even with 111 horsepower, which is the most I could get into this car without a mass amount of tuning, I'm barely able to keep up. So I don't know if a high power tune was actually the way to go for this, but I'm again 2 seconds faster this lap, and I'm trying to overtake another Cappuccino with a very nice looking custom wing, or at least the game calls it a custom wing. It's more like a GT wing. Whoa, I was on the rev limiter for a bit long there. I don't think the turbo spooling even benefited from that at that point. Oh, no, I've turned in a bit late, but I think we still got that just. We're still a bit faster than the lap before, though we lost a little bit of time through that section there. Now down the 4th gear as we go through this corner. The reason I chose this car is, for one, the base performance points is higher and it's more modern than the other K cars, which I assume means that the suspension would be a bit more sorted for a little bit more power. So I thought this would be the best base to run it off. I don't know if it is, The Cappuccino is of course a very interesting K car, being a front-engined rear-wheel drive K car instead of the mid-engine cars like the S660 which I'm driving and the Honda Beat. Although you could also go for front-wheel drive cars if that's your thing with the Coupon. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna hope I'm right. I always question my pronunciation on literally everything I'm not completely familiar with, so I probably got that wrong. But here we go, right to the track limits there. But we are getting a faster lap again, and we're up at 11th position now, which is of course good. Oh, I don't know if it'll be enough to go for a win though, that's my only concern. Is 11th good enough? I don't feel like this thing has 111 horsepower because it's very lightweight. I mean, I guess 111 horsepower is not much. So, I don't know. Maybe it does feel like it has 111 horsepower when you think of it like that. But it's really lightweight, so you'd think 111 horsepower would do a bit more with something that's this lightweight. Although I think it is one of the heavier K cars actually, considering it's newer and it needs all the newer safety technology, and it's obviously a bit fatter, well, mildly. I don't think it is actually. I don't think it is any wider than the other K cars. I think the reason why that is because the K car specifications have set height and width and length limits, along with engine sizes and engine power, and torque power. But I don't remember what the peak torque is for a K car. I remember the power is 63 or 62, one or the other. And the, no, I don't remember the dimensions either. But I know it's a 660cc engine, which can probably fit in a motorcycle, but we put them in cars because K cars. And that's why this vehicle got the name the S660. Because Honda, with almost all their sports cars, I was about to say all of them, but I'm horribly wrong, because there's a Honda Beat ahead of me which does not have an S in the name, but lots of their more performance-y, sporty cars have S in the name, like the S600, the S800, and obviously the S2000, and this, the S660. And all of those go by displacement. It's always S followed by displacement. S, I think, means sport, if I remember correctly, but I can't guarantee that. So I'm going to assume S means sport, and this is a 660cc engine, and this S600 was a 600cc engine. But the reason why that wasn't a K car in the time is because K car specifications said that 360cc was the limit back at the time when the S600 was released. So they were incredibly small engines. But of course, if you had an engine that big now in a K car, I don't think it would work anymore very well. And the reason for that is because modern cars require all this added safety, and it makes the cars heavier. Not that safety is a bad thing, but it makes the cars heavier, adding airbags and like crumple zones and stuff like that, and trying to really reinforce the structural parts of the car. And that's why they're usually so much heavier today, and the fact that larger cars somehow always manage to get better sales than smaller cars. I think they just have more of a aggressive appearance to them, and they look more of a upper class vehicle if they're larger. I think that's one of the other reasons larger cars always get good sales. Like in many countries around the world, despite their fuel usage, SUVs are some of the best selling cars in the world. K cars, not so much. The other thing I have just realised is the last lap, and I've got no chance at winning. Would you believe it? After my entire story about K cars and how they exist, and went on to about something to do with vehicle safety, but I don't think I'm going to win this race either, which is kind of horrible. I don't think that's a great thing, not being able to win the race. But I don't know what to do if I can't win here. Oh no, that's the leader. Come on, come on, give it all the power. Is that the... No, the leader's all the way up there. Holy crap. I thought that was the leader in that yellow Coupon. No, it's not. How? What do I have to do? I'm beginning to think the leader's driving a Coupon, right? The S660 must not be able to do this. Or maybe it's just not the superior car, like I thought. I mean, I finished in a high enough position, but I want to win. And that wasn't a win. What I need is a win. Now, maybe... What other K cars are there that you can buy from the dealership? Maybe there's one in used cars right now if I'm really lucky. But at the moment I've got no idea. I haven't checked used cars today. Please have a K car. Please have a K car. Does anyone see a K car? Ooh! Ooh! 2 K cars. I don't think I've seen 2 K cars in the dealership at the same time. Now, since this is limited stock for 1, and for 2 is the car that just won against me, I'm thinking this should be the option for me to purchase and see if I can win using this. Now, I think I'm going to go with the same option of trying to get as much power into the car as I can over anything else. I think that will still be the premise of tuning for this vehicle as well. Now, to get the most power out of the car, I think the best way to go around it is go through every single option that there is, well, every single faster option, so like the top end options for everything, and just take a look at the power output. For example, these give you 65 horsepower, and that'll give you 64, even though it costs more than the other parts. And this costs you not, and this gives you 92. You know, so you just go through everything that increases power, not the anti-lag system, and just see what is generally the most viable option for increasing power. This is obviously the big increasing power, the high RPM turbo, because it just is. It's a high RPM turbo. It is what it is. And that increase in power is going to be very helpful. Now, that gives me 96 more horsepower, and I don't think that... Oh, that gives me 98 more horsepower. We're going to go through here. That's 100 horsepower from that. You know, you just quickly scroll through all these things, take a quick look at every one of them. Now, that's 100 horsepower, and so is that. No, not that. This. That's 100 horsepower and gives me 346.4 performance points, and that one's 348, which means overall this one gives me the same amount of power. Oh no, but this one gives me more torque. Maybe I should go with this then. And it's cheaper. And it'll make the car sound better most of the time. So yeah, why not? I'll go with that. Yeah, that does overall improve it, right? And then you take a look at all the other things. That's 105. I think I'll be able to get more power out of this than I will with the other car. Also, if this tuning takes a really long time, I'll just skip through it during the video, because I have no idea how long this will take me to work out. Okay, I'm back. And the problem I discovered, which I discovered after I finished increasing all the power and it didn't even reach 400 performance points, is that I didn't have comfort soft tires, I had comfort mediums, which means I then after that added a power restrictor, and I've lowered it through the ECU instead. But I added a power restrictor and then realized, oh, I could just do it through the ECU, and that usually gives us a little bit more power and a little bit less torque. But if you do it through the power restrictor, it gives you a little bit less torque and a little bit more power. But for this car in particular, I think power is more helpful than torque on this particular car, with the difference that it made. I made like 0.2 for torque and like an extra like 5 horsepower or something if I did it for the ECU. So I realized that after I finished tuning just about everything in terms of power at least. And so now we've got this. Oh, and I've got a low ratio gearing. I don't know how helpful that's going to be, but now I'm back. I can start this race. And we're going to have to really race for these 7 laps, really see how much power we can put down on such a machine. This is 131, wasn't it? 131. I'll check before I start. Whatever it is going to be considerable, so it's going to be pretty mad. And also, while I was tuning, since I was going to say, I literally just thought, yeah, I'm going to skip through that part during the video and cut to here. While I was tuning, I was trying to multitask and edit a completely different video that I'm going to have uploaded while I'm recording this one. So, yeah. I'm on that YouTube grind, you know. And we've got 132 horsepower. And we're within the performance points limit. We're good. We're perfectly fine. Now let's see if we can win this race. We got second last time. We might get first place this time. So I'm going to give it everything I've got. Yes, third gear, off we go. Yes, fourth gear. Look at the speed. And the horrible old suspension and front engine, front wheel drive layout. But the speed in a straight line is a lot more than the other car that I had. Look at that. We're actually pulling away. Yes, this is what you want to see. This is exactly what you want to see. And brakes, because we've still got stock brakes on this one. Ooh. Yes. Everything's stock other than power. And I did not need to spend the 800 extra credits on the power restrictor, but I did because I didn't realise that I didn't need to spend on that. Oh, the suspension is very wobbly. It's early 2000 suspension on a K car. I don't know how much money Daihatsu invested on that suspension, but it might be good for less power, but when you've literally doubled the horsepower, oh, it doesn't work very good when you've literally doubled the horsepower. But I have still got the fastest lap, and we are now in 13th. Come on, brake, turn. This is why I prefer mid-engine cars to front-engine, front-wheel drive. See, if you have a front-engine rear-wheel drive car, they're still very good. A mid-engine rear-wheel drive car, very good. I don't particularly like front-engine, front-wheel drive cars to race in. It's not like I dislike them as a car. I still think the Honda Civic is a cool car. But racing with them, I don't see them as being as efficient. And you can probably tell that by when Nissan entered a front-engined front-wheel drive car into Le Mans. That was not long ago, actually. I think it was only a couple of years ago. It didn't perform very well, and I think that is because of the layout of the vehicle, as it was not seeing the same laps as its mid-engine rear-wheel drive counterparts that were also in that event. So I don't really think this is the way through, but I think if you want peak power in your K car for this sort of race, I think this might be the car to go with. And my reason for that is that although it's got worse handling, that does mean the game will pick up on that and lower the performance points for handling, but that means you can just put more performance points in for power, which means you can overtake everyone down the straight. Yes! Look at that. Now we've made it to 7th place. Look at the big exhaust pipes on this. Giant exhaust, because this... Oh no, it's only got one. See, that's the thing. That's one thing I dislike about this. I wish you could still have dual exhaust. I get that one is actually more efficient in a lot of cases with performance cars, because it's a lot more straight through, therefore there's less like resistance for the exhaust. But so technically it's more important, more performance. But I don't care if they added like a dual exhaust option for like vehicles like this that already came with a dual exhaust. I hope they add like a dual exhaust option, even if they're trying to make it realistic and it decreases the power level slightly. That would still be okay, because I think some people would still choose the dual exhaust option because it looks cool, and I think it would fit a lot of cars a lot better to have two exhausts, especially cars that already had two exhausts. Like, I know the, but then some of the other cars, like for example the S660, that started out having one exhaust, and then they give it two exhausts with the racing upgrade. So it's not very consistent, I don't think. Because it would make sense for the S660 if they just had one big, like, exhaust pipe going straight through the middle of the car, but they decided they didn't want to do that. And I don't know why. I mean, it's not a big issue with the game or anything. There's a lot bigger issues like the roulette tickets, the slower AI, the lack of campaign, even though I'm doing the campaign right now, so obviously they're working on that. But there's a lot more issues that they could be working on than fixing exhaust, the exhausts on these cars. Yeah. So I think they should, if anything, I doubt the GT devs will be watching this video ever, let alone when I actually upload it. But if I could say one thing that they would improve, it would probably have to be the roulette tickets. Because even with the campaign, you can still go online. I don't know if... I think it's not even the fact that the roulette tickets are unbalanced. But it's, even with me, who's only ever gotten like the worst prizes for as long as I can remember. Actually, no. One time I got a Hyundai Genesis. And another time I got an ultra high RPM turbo for a RE Animaya, which is a car I had to buy. But I was like, well, since I got the turbo, I might as well buy the vehicle, right? And that's all I did. But those are the like 2 good things I've gotten from roulette tickets ever. So I think, I don't know if it's that they're unbalanced, but I think it gives you that visual appearance that there's like a lot of good prizes and you always getting the worst one. It's like a big FU. Every time you get the worst prize, which is like 2,000 coins sitting next to like a supercar. Yeah, thank you, game. So, I don't know, that's probably the biggest thing. I think they should increase, like, or change the way they show the roulette tickets. Like, not increase the prize rate, because I still think engine swaps being rare is pretty cool, because if you get one, then you feel such a sense of achievement. But I wish there were more ways to gain roulette tickets. That's a big thing. So that way you can really feel that sense of achievement once you've got them, because you can feel like it's not just outright luck, you've actually earned it. You know, earned the engine swaps and earned the turbo upgrades and everything. Not just, oh yeah, you get really lucky, because everybody gets like 1 roulette ticket a day. No matter how much you play the game, you can get 1 roulette ticket. That's it. Also, I'm in the lead and I'm about to lap someone. Interesting, that. But yeah, that's my probably biggest problem with this game, is the roulette tickets. Yeah, the campaign needs some work, but obviously they are working on it. They've added more campaign stages. That's great. And since this update, I have no idea if they've changed the roulette tickets or anything, because I haven't played since the, well, I mean, I haven't opened a roulette ticket since the update. I was about to say I haven't played since the update. Well, I'm playing during the update, yeah. But anyway, I'm very happy this time I might actually win the event. I hope. Watch me, like, fly it off at this last corner and, like, hit the wall. Nope, I made sure I didn't do that. Look at that, the checkered flag. And I win. Yes. See, that's what I wanted to achieve. You know? That's brilliant. Little over a minute a lap. That's pretty good, I think. I think I did well there. Oh, I get a roulette ticket. You can see what roulette ticket it is. Oh, a 4-star roulette ticket. Should I open that for the video? Should I? Yeah, of course I should. I'll open it for the video, then I'll end the video. You want to see what comes out of that roulette ticket? You want to see what happens? Let's see what happens. I beg you want to see what happens. As everybody clicks away from the video. But you want to see what happens, because you're still here. Let's see how these roulette tickets are. Let's see if we get a great prize or actual trash. I bet you, if they haven't changed the roulette tickets, I could say already I'm going to get the worst prize. Which will probably be, since it's a 4-star ticket, like 10,000 credits or something. But here we go. We got 2 cars that I don't own either of them. Oh, and those are a lot more than 10,000 credits. I did get the worst prize, but that's more than 10,000 credits. It's 30,000 credits. Look at that. I mean, I made more out of that K car race, but still. I thought I was going to get 10. Well, I guess I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.